Al Jazeera senior political analyst. You're joining us from London. I know you were listening to that speech, Marwan. It's the first UN General Assembly since the Gaza war broke out. And, you know, this platform is like one forum where you can really sort of take the temperature of global public opinion, because world leaders get to come up, all of them, 200 or so world leaders get to come up and talk about issues that matter to them. And we've carried a number of these speeches live. There have been many world leaders, not just in the Middle East, who have chosen to make Israel and Gaza a central part of their speech. And one thing that is noticeable to me is I haven't heard a single one offer a full-throated defense of Israel.
You are absolutely right. It's almost embarrassing for anyone to do that. It's humiliating for them and their people. And they would know that either they would sound stupid or they would think the rest of the world is stupid. And I don't think any world leader would want that. The moral issue of the day is to stop the war. The moral imperative of the day is to stop the slaughter and to end the genocide, is to stop Israel. So no leader is going to come out openly and defend Israel. But still, what stands out from the likes of Macron and Biden and others, that they continue to almost justify the war on the pretext of October 7. And then they say, well, you know, it's been 12 months, it took too long, maybe it should end now. That's not exactly a moral stand, right? So while they're not defending Israel, they're not actually taking a just and moral position on what just unraveled the past 11 months or 12 months. The second thing is just to the spirit of your question about the first since the war, right before the war started, in September 2023, if you remember, Cyril, we had Netanyahu lecture the world about the wonder of Israel and its role in the Middle East. And if you remember, he showed up in September, right before the war started, with a map of the Middle East showing Israel at the center of it, while completely erasing Palestine from the map. That was Netanyahu, smug and arrogant and apparently invincible then. Only a few days later, the attack showed him to be vulnerable and humiliated. And then he started to take his revenge against the people of Gaza throughout the year. So a lot of the people who sympathized with the Israelis on October 7, a lot of them who would say we are all Israelis, that kind of language. But as the war unraveled, and as war crimes unraveled, and as genocide unraveled, and as the war on hospitals and children's and school and so on and so forth unraveled, I think Israel's position became untenable. Defending it, especially at the UN, also became untenable.
Marwan, if I can get you to look at what's happening on the ground, the Israeli military has told troops to get ready for a possible ground operation as of just a few hours ago. We don't know if they're going to do it, but this is what they've said. Last time we heard something like that was before the Israeli military crossed into Gaza a year ago and then proceeded to kill 41,000 people, a majority of whom were women and children, as we now know. It's not a question, it's a statement. You can take this wherever you want.
Well, look, absolutely. You asked me earlier about the lessons of war. And for every Israeli, it was clear of the lessons from the 2006 war and also from the 1982 war, is that both of them, in terms of Israel's land invasion, it was disastrous, not only for Lebanon and for the Palestinians in Lebanon, it was disastrous for Israel. Massacres were committed after 1982 invasion, and Israel had to occupy the southern part of Lebanon for 18 years, allowing for the creation of Hezbollah, which it has been at a state of war with ever since. Right? And in 2006, the Israeli land invasion of Lebanon was the most disastrous part of Israel's invasion, not only for Lebanon, but again, for Israel. Israel lost a lot militarily by its land invasion. So the idea that Israel would once again want to invade by land Lebanon, not Gaza, Lebanon, really makes one wonder, what are the Israelis thinking and what is the strategic imperative and objective there? Two, one also wonders if this is part of a psychological warfare on the part of Israel to ensure or to push Hezbollah to stand down. Because as soon as this is echoed by the likes of President Biden saying an all-out war against Lebanon is possible, you get the sense that perhaps this is part of a psychological warfare against Hezbollah and Lebanon to really put them in a corner and to make sure that there's enough pressure building up around Hezbollah to stand down.
Marwan Bishara, Al Jazeera senior political analyst. Thank you very much.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.